Howdy, friends. Okay, so lest you think I'm being too hard on the Nashville gatekeepers sometimes, I want to recount a little experience I had back in 2013. I was asked to be on a panel at the Americana Music Festival. It was a panel based on how to find alternative ways to get your music out there. This is after I had published the I Curse the River of Time book and CD, and it was very, very successful. Probably outsold most Americana records that year. I think even, maybe not Jason Isbell, but pretty damn close. It was that successful. But anyway, totally an accident, but it was because it was a labor of love and it was something different, and the way we executed it that they asked me to be on this panel. And I was on this panel with 3 or 4 other people who were, gatekeepers, actually, a couple of label heads, a manager, a publisher, development person. And actually, I got along with most of them really well, except the one dude to my left who was a label head. I didn't really get along with him very well. He didn't seem to like many of my answers. Strangely enough, I offered the Curse the River of Time to that label before we published it ourselves and made all the money ourselves. Fun fact. But the thing he seemed to have an issue with the most, and you'll see this chart right here now, and this chart is the record sales by format for the last, 100 years. And this was 2013. Now, I had been buying vinyl pretty exclusively for, 15 years at that point. I think I got on the trend before everybody else, and we can talk about that some other time why, but I just enjoy listening to vinyl. And somebody had said, well, hey, what do you feel about vinyl? And I had said to the person in the audience, well, I think it's going to be even bigger next year and bigger the year after that, and it's going to continue to grow. And he was like, oh, you're crazy. This isn't going anywhere. This is just a fad. It's a trend. Well, you'll see by this chart that it's not a trend, that actually the last few years, vinyl has outsold every other format. So the idiot think that these gatekeepers have is what's destroying music. They're the dummies that allowed Napster and Spotify to take over and ruin the industry when they could have done something about it. We'll get to that another time, but there was an algorithm to stop illegal downloading. They ignored the Silicon Valley guy who presented it to them. We'll talk about that later. But it's this type of stupid, idiotic thinking that makes the industry go down and how things get destroyed. Unbelievable.